Dave, it's another show at Six Unseemly
Questions.
Happy to have you, Dave. It's time for your trivia question about the show you are on.
I look forward to this
Dave.
all week.
It is a trivia question about the show you are on. Dave, first trivia question. Who wrote our show's theme music?
Oh, that's easy. What's his face from Star Wars?
What's his face from Star Wars? What? Who wrote our? Who? Seriously, Dave? Who wrote?
Honestly, I have no idea. You never told me who wrote the theme music.
You have no idea who wrote our show's theme music.
Was it you?
Yes, it was me, Dave. It was me, Dave.
All right, so that counts as a correct answer.
No, that doesn't count as a correct answer.
Why? It was you, though. Wasn't it you?
You know what? Let's just get started with the show.
Who drew the show picture? That was you. That
was me. Yes, Dave. I wanted everybody out there to check us out at unseemlyquestions.com and Six Unseemly on all social media. Let's get the show started.
Six Unseemly Questions!
Welcome to Six Unseemly Questions. I'm your host, Victor Varnado. This is my sidekick, Dave Rosinsky. We've got a great contestant on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the amazing Todd Glass. All right. Todd Glass, why don't you turn on your camera? You can come on up. All right. Also in the studio audience, we have Stephen Rosenthal and Rachel Teichman. Great studio audience. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a good time. Todd, I'm going to explain how the show works, and then we're going to get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you 6 unseemly questions. At the end of each question, I'll ring a bell if I like your answer like this. However, if I do not like your answer, I will not ring the bell, and I'll tell you why. Regardless of how many bells you get at the end of the show, I'll decide whether or not it's worth giving you $5 whole for appearing on the show. Wait, there we go. $5 whole for appearing on the show. So, are you ready for question number 1? What's the secret to being funny?
Authenticity is something that seems comedy will change, but that's a running theme that you can tell if it's or not, if it's authentic.
Oh, if it's authentic. I mean, can you describe authenticity in comedy or give an example?
Yeah, I mean, it could be like, personally, I used to get confused what it meant, but it means if you're silly, find your funny silliness. If you don't have to be dark just to be dark. Find out what it is and then be authentic to that. Like, what do you and then whatever it is, find it and then be authentic to it. And people can tell if you're not full of shit.
Got it. Mm-hmm. I will say, and I'm going to say this, that was a great answer to the question. However, no bell on that question. I'll tell you why. Because the secret to being funny wasn't funny. So since the answer was not funny, no bell on that question.
I think, not to argue with the judge, but I think that's a trick question because
I was just going to say that. Me. Yeah.
I should have
answered you. There was no now you're right. In my act, I would, by the way, I'm arguing. I'm so paranoid. I'm arguing in a tongue-in-cheek way. I don't want you to think I'm really.
Yeah, no, you don't want to mess up any future bells, but that was a dirty question.
I want you to know, if you do step out of line, I will appear next to you and punch you in the back of the head. That's going to happen. So be careful.
Are you talking to me or our guest?
Anybody. I'll teleport anywhere. I don't care.
Yeah, teleport. I'd like to see that.
You know what? I'm going to be in such good behavior. You're going to be so proud of me.
We're already very proud of you, Todd.
This is great. Well, it's time for question number 2. But before we go on to question number 2, would you mind telling people out there what you do?
I do stand-up comedy.
That is true. You are hilarious. I've seen you many times and been very happy.
Thank you.
So that is true. You do stand-up comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, check him out. His name is Todd Glass, does stand-up comedy. All right, it's time for question number 2, Todd. Question number 2. Did you have an occupation before comedy?
I did have a few jobs. And, I worked at a Dairy Queen and I stole a lot of ice cream. And then
was it really stealing? I mean, don't they expect that from the employees at Dairy Queen to just eat the ice cream?
Hey, one time the owner spied on us from across the mall, and that's what I told him. I said, we're around ice cream. What do you think? We're going to not eat it?
Are you talking about like stealing a few scoops, or you just steal the whole bucket, the big buckets out the back and put them in your truck?
No, it was more pre-made things. Like I'd bring home 12 dilly bars or Buster bars.
Oh. I'm sorry. I stand corrected. That was stealing.
Yeah, a dozen dilly bars. A dozen dilly bars right there.
Are you lactose intolerant?
What? No, I ate so much ice cream. So I had that job, and then I worked at a deli, our deli it was called, and then I worked at a place called the Valley Forge Music Fair. It held like 3,000 people, and you would seat people, and those are the 3 jobs I had, except for comedy.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll tell you that answers my question, and I love the Dairy Queen story. There you go.
Wow.
First
Back
bell.
on track.
I told you I was going to get a bell ring. I'm talking to a friend of mine over here.
He's
right,
yelling
I
at
got a
Jacob
bell
Marley's
ring.
ghost off in the corner.
I see it.
It's now time for question number 3. Question number 3: should people eat meat?
As someone who is trying not to, no judgment, because I still eat milk and all that stuff, so no judgment. I can't imagine that we're supposed to at least eat tortured meat. Like we're definitely going to look back on the people. You remember we found out that people back in the day, like they didn't know to wash their hands before surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So we can look back on that and go, I know it was a long time ago, but how could they not know that? That's what eating meat is probably like, at least tortured meat. There's no way in 30 years they're not going to go, how the did they not know that led to crime and domestic abuse? And people go, they didn't know. They didn't know. So,
yeah,
people
I
should
would
not.
say that. I mean, I agree with you. Just in general, people should not eat meat, even though I do eat meat. But I understand the idea that yes, people should not eat. Like if you can avoid eating a living thing, let's even widen it. So if you could avoid killing a living thing, you should try to avoid killing living things.
Right.
In general, yes.
That's simple.
But I don't think that it compares to not washing your hands. So no bell on that question. But thank you for
Well, okay.
Oh, don't mope. No moping on this show.
No, there's no moping.
That is definitely against the rules.
I thought we were allowed to mope on this show.
Yeah, that's what I got told. When they called me, they said you can mope all you want.
Yeah. He's changing the rules as he's going along. No
I
moping.
did tell him that, so give him the bell.
I will not give him the bell, and I also know you guys are lying about this mope conversation. Okay, so we're just going to move on to question number 4. All right,
Okay.
Question number 4: do you also have a glass jaw?
A glass jaw. Wow. I don't know what to do with that.
I mean, your
no.
name's Todd Glass, and then you have a glass. Do you have a glass jaw?
I know. That it's like if I do, look.
It's because it has the word glass in it. Is that what you mean, Victor?
Right.
Does his
What
jaw
do you
have
want
glass?
from me?
No,
I mean,
Dave.
some people would say I was
What do you
nice
want?
for not making some snarky little cat. But you're like, I don't want you not to say anything. Even that's not good enough. Why let out a humdinger like that? And this glass guy sits there on his fat.
I do
That
have
was
a
a
question.
humdinger.
I do have a question for you, Dave. Dave, really quickly, have you never heard of a glass jaw?
I was going to ask you the same thing. Do you know what that actually means?
Yeah,
Since I know you're not a big sports guy. You know
Oh,
what that
so
means?
you have heard of it? Okay,
Of
I didn't-
course. It's a
Okay,
boxing term. Do you know what it means?
Yes, I do know what it means.
Okay.
It means that if you and I were in a fight, with one punch, you would just fall to the ground and you would pass out. and
I'd
sleep
fall
like
to
a
the
baby.
ground laughing over your
What?
fantasy.
So I get it, Todd, that you did not like my glass jaw question one bit. And you know what? I'm gonna give you a bell, right? You're right about that.
Wow. He got a protest spell. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever given up a protest spell before. But it's now time for question number 5, Todd. Question number 5. What's it like traveling with Steve Rosenthal?
See, this isn't going to be fun either. Steve Rosenthal is the best. He's like one of those people, for 30 years. He's very even-tempered. His wife is a little bit of a no. That's what unfunny people say after their jokes. They don't give the audience a chance to laugh, and they just go no right away. I apologize for my nervous no. So Steve's perfect. He's perfect in anything. He's perfect. I lived with him. I was his roommate.
Really?
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he was clean, very organized. And He's great. His wife is great, Peggy. Before she was with, they were together. We had a run around for a little bit, but all on the up and up.
Steve, are you still living in that same place? Is that what we're looking at?
No, I live with my wife across the country. I no longer live with Todd, but I give that answer a bell. Has that ever happened?
No,
Has the
the
audience ever
you
spoken
could.
up
The worst-
and given their own bell?
I gotta be honest.
No.
The worst part is I was about to give it a bell, but because you tried to just jump in and force a bell on me, I'm like, no bell. I
No
was
bell.
totally about to give
Well,
it.
it's fine because he already got one.
Why
Is it?
are you
Right,
trying
right.
to force a bell on him?
Is it? Why are you
with
mad,
you.
Steve? What is up? What's wrong? Why are
He
you upset?
doesn't need your bell. I think that was a perfect bell answer for
All right.
selfish
Well,
reasons.
I'm so sorry that you were wrong about that, Steve. Todd, I apologize for your longtime friend, Steve.
He
He
gave
cost
me
you
a bell.
right there.
Yeah, he ate your bell somehow. He just ate it. But it's time for question number 6.
But it would be like if you ate someone's cookie and then you gave him another cookie. So I got a cookie.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're happy with all of the bells you've gotten so far, then this last one won't matter one bit.
Okay. No, I always, I'm trying my hardest.
We could always use an extra bell.
Yeah.
It is
that's
time for
good.
question number 6, Todd. Question number 6. What's the furthest distance you can pee?
Well, I know the answer to that because I like to pee outside, like in my backyard, because it's like sometimes you don't have to think as much, especially I've been smoking pot. So I think it's like 3 feet or 4 feet.
I think that, I feel like that's a good distance. I'm not exactly sure. How about you, Dave? How far can you pee?
At least 3 or 4 blocks away.
Wow, Dave. We're trying to conduct a scientific experiment and you're just ruining everything. So how about you, Rachel? How far can you pee?
Who?
Rachel, I said, how far can you pee?
Rachel.
I can pee about 69 feet.
629?
69 feet.
69.
Oh, 69.
I get it, Rachel. And Steve, how far do you think you can
We're
pee?
talking about like horizontal distance, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I think
If you're
so.
like on the top of the Grand Canyon, you can pee all the way down.
And
right? That's not-
also, Steve, tell us in kilometers if you don't mind.
It's not even going to make meters, I think.
I gotta
don't think
admit,
there's any
like
strength.
I feel like Todd came in here, and then when I asked him how far he could pee, he gave me an honest answer about how he could pee, and then everybody else decided that it's like party time with the answer.
I'll tell you what
That's what
happened.
it's called. You know what that's called? It's called a pissing contest, and you're the one who started it.
Victor, I'll tell you what happened. You said once in a while back, I decided I want something to be funny. There's no rules. So maybe those guys were thinking, I bet this guy's going to be one of these ones where it's funny. And Todd gave a serious answer. So they made an educated decision to go funny. That you started that.
Yeah.
You think it's my fault?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, that leaves me with only one choice: no bell on that question.
Oh.
All right, definitely
Fine,
no
let me
bell
finish. You
on
didn't
that
let me
question.
finish.
You got robbed.
I didn't finish, Victor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were finished. What
no,
else?
oh my God, shut up. I'm not. So I think those guys made an educated guess that they would think you maybe wanted to be funny. But guess what? If it was if it was a great educated guess, they would have won. So they lost because they have no ability to figure you out. They're
Got it.
idiots.
What a great turn, Todd. Great turn. No bell on that question. All right, so
How dare you?
it's now we've asked 6
we've never-
questions, so now it's time to find out whether or not you're going to get $5 whole for your appearance on the show. But before we do that, would you mind telling people out there where they can find you?
Yeah. By the way, I give my money to a animal shelter where right now dogs are starving.
Oh,
So here we go. Todd Glass podcast and my Netflix special Act Happy. That's about 2 things I'm proud of.
all right. I'm probably going to watch Act Happy right after this.
Also, can I give one other thing, a quick plug? I'm on a new show coming out probably July, August at the latest. It's called 10-Year-Old Tommy, and it's on HBO, and I play the principal. And having the time of my life doing it. So it's 10-Year-Old Tommy, somewhere around, I think August or September, right in that area.
I thought you were going to say you play Tommy.
No, an adult plays the kid, though. It's funny, like, to hear it come out of his mouth.
That's interesting. Is it similar to the Pen 15 show where they have adults playing kids there on that one?
You know, I'm not familiar with that show, except that I know it's really respected. But wait, is that where the two girls play
Yes.
No, because it's animated, so he's drawn as a little kid. He just doesn't go for it.
Okay. Well, we left out we didn't know the animated part until just now. I thought it was a.
No, I said animated. I'm pretty sure, so you can go listen back.
Well, I guess we'll have to. I mean, anybody who's listening to this episode, why don't you just hit that rewind button and check it out and see who's right and who's big boob head. All right. It is now time to find out whether or not you're going to get $5 whole for appearing on the show. We usually canvass the room, so let's just do that right now. Dave, what do you think? Should Todd get $5?
Yeah, I've never seen a guest get this mad on our show before because of.
I beg to differ. What about Eddie Pepitone?
That's true too. We understand there's an inconsistent rule set on this show, and
You know what? Hold on. I'm going to defend myself. This is a hard, and I guarantee you, one person's going to watch and go, "Yeah." It's hard to find the perimeter. I can't play along, and then you have to judge that as it's a real person. I'm arguing tongue in cheek because it's part of the show. How dare he? Then I do that playing along, and then two people go, "Well, I never saw." So I'm not taking it. You might go, "Well, we're not taking it seriously," but I think somewhere in the comedy mix, you're playing along, and then somebody judges that. It's like if you have like a funny hair. I don't know what it's like. It's like what I just said, Steve. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. 100%.
And then when you do this, people go, "Oh, you're making such a big deal about it." No, you're pointing out a little minutia of something that happened, and I might be high and wrong, or someone go, "Yeah, Todd's there's truth to what Todd's saying." Instead of saying he's overreacting, dissect it and go, "Do I have a point?"
I feel like someone's explaining like a conspiracy to me right now.
Yeah, no one said you were high and wrong.
Well, I knew this was going to happen.
But let's just canvass the rest of the room. We're almost done. Steve, what do you think? Should Todd get $5?
Of course. He should get $50. He said nice things about me. He was moping a little. That's never been done before. He comes on. He was speaking truth to power in a way that's desperately needed on this Cockamamie game show of yours.
Oh, okay.
I say $500.
I'm glad you're old enough so cockamamie sounds normal coming out of your mouth.
I didn't know what to say.
Cockamamie. Rachel, what do you think? Should Todd get $5?
Considering he used to work at Dairy Queen and straight up stole like 12 dilly bars at once, that is like a way to stick it to capitalism. And in the spirit of anti-capitalism, give him that $5.
Got it. All right. The last person, people who are watching, who are just listening, Todd is bowing with his hands to Rachel. So just watch the video version if you want to see it. It's something special.
On
All
YouTube
right,
today.
Todd, the last person we ask about this is you. What do you think? Should you get $5 for appearing on the show?
No. I can't take it with good conscience.
All right.
You can't just get high and blame it on the pot. Well, then don't smoke pot if you need to be paying attention. I got high, I got lost, and I can do better than this. So take the $5 and you put it back into the pot.
It's fine. I'm also high. It's fine.
No one
Yeah,
said
but
you were
some
high
people
and
can
wrong.
remember where they're at.
Yeah.
No one said you were high and wrong.
Todd, I'll agree with you. You don't get $5 for appearing on the show. However, I really appreciate you coming on the show. What a great episode. Thank you very much. We have to wrap this up really quickly by asking Dave, what did you learn from this week's show?
The main thing I learned was that we have a sympathy bell on this show. That might change some of the rules on the show that we don't really have anyway. So.
Yeah, Dave, I think this is the first episode where you actually learned something.
Yeah, it's all starting to make sense to me now, but not really.
All right, so please check us out at Six Unseemly on all social media and unseemlyquestions.com.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.